They're starting in red. And
It's fan favorite.
That's where Masters action happen.
Yeah.
And that's where the Masters winner is starting. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. As I say that, there's a lot of action starting at red and green.
Go.
2 people going for a dual and blue and doubling there.
Pretty early on in this one. All right, out of these people, who do you reckon is going to get those top 3 spots?
I mean, it's really tough to say. I mean, CV won solos last year as well, so I never put CV out of it. But you've got the Twinkles in there. You've got Blanket's been doing really well in solo scores. Yeah, that's a real tough one. I mean, I think overall you'd see the Wax, the Twinkles, and the CV in the top 3.
I would say I would be expecting probably CV in that top 3, 100%. I am a bit torn as who I reckon will be coming second here because we've got some pretty decent names in here as well. Same as the last game, like there was some pretty decent names going on. I'm gonna say I'll probably my second here. I'm gonna be a bit biased and hopefully say Plank. Not just because he's on my team, but I would say Plank, like you were saying, has been doing pretty decent in the solo score. Third for this one, I have no clue. It is got to be a bit of a mix-up because, again, like talking about the difference between having the Masters and Juniors is you tend to have the same sort of play styles you're versing.
Yeah.
Whereas with solos, you're versing so many different play styles that you have to deal with. And you sort of have to change up depending on which play you're versing. Yeah. And even having a look at red base currently, if we focus on those base cams, like I say red base is incredibly busy at the moment. And again, we're not seeing too much gameplay going on at blue.
Neither at green, really. I think I can see a roaming ref even leaving that green base there.
What is that blue exit ref doing? There you
go. There's a few runs through there, but there's a lot of brawling happening and a lot of panel fighting happening in that red base. And I mean, I think there's 2 different play styles. I mean, you saw Dart last game was constantly action, but got fourth just because he had heaps of tags, even though you have heaps of deaths. So I think you'll see a few of those scores from particularly those players around red there.
So you're gonna have those. You're gonna have to take up those high risk reward situations where you have to go. I can be in the action because it'll give me the most chance of getting the most points.
Yeah.
But in being in the middle of the action, I'm also going to be another target. Yeah.
So.
And how many times have you been cannoned this Nats?
I've
been cannoned a couple of times this Nats, and it's already been like, like lunging a front door, and one of my teammates happens to be just close enough that they shoot me and get both of us. It's like,
it's rough. Yeah.
Nufa taking that first spot currently just off of Plank. It's very interesting because I feel like Nufa gets downplayed a little bit with some of his games.
Nufa did really well in their rep game. By a mile, which was really good. But yeah, I mean, Plank's up there, Twinkle's up there. I never really thought Twinkles wouldn't be up there. Twinkles has been doing really well past few years. Very good pack-on-pack player. I mean, as he's getting a tag streak of 6 there, doing very well.
Twinkles has finally climbed up into that top 3, scoring himself a second currently.
Yeah. I think some upsets is CV down there in 17th having a rough one. I mean, it's just what happens when you're in the brawl. It's really difficult. Same with Dodge and Lilbo, kind of further down than you might first think.
Again, we got some names in here that are going to be like at each other. They're gonna definitely be clashing a bit.
Leveled up. Well done.
I know about Nufagusta's no longer sick. Not too sure if they're no longer sick. I know they're playing. I don't think anybody on site isn't sick at this point.
I think it's more the pushing through because we all love to play this game somewhat. So
I think Drinks Night is us all going to be around with a bottle of cough syrup.
Yeah. But Twinkle's taking that lead there. Highest tag ratio as well. He's just steaming ahead at the moment. Going very well.
Oh, good. All right, we'll quickly switch over to this main thing. So we've got about 3 minutes left on this game. So we'll switch over to those arena cams real quick.
We're just over halfway. And again, You can see that bottom right corner there. There's just a
Member
whole
leveled up.
lot of
Well done.
play through there. This is really like it's where you most see the players.
Yeah, definitely. I'm about to say, having a look at it as we're into this halfway point, it is interesting because compared to the last game, I think there wasn't as as far of a margin as we can sort of see between like the top five, between the top five and the rest of the game.
Yeah, Twinkle's off there to a very strong lead at the start.
Yeah.
Through the game came a strong lead, getting those tags ticking over. 10 more tags on
Member
desk at the
leveled
moment,
up.
doing very well
Well
there.
done.
Method, it's come up as well. Same with
Member leveled
Danuffa
up.
there.
Well
Plank's
done.
still staying in it. And Gus is doing very well. So I think the top five is really out of anyone at the moment. I don't think anyone's out of it.
Member leveled up. Well done. Member leveled
When you
up.
make it to round 3
Well
per
done.
game, I think it's
Member
the top
leveled up.
7.
Well
7.
done.
Oh,
Top
Dom,
seven
you were
for
right.
each game.
Yeah, so top 7 per game.
So
Oh,
warning
first
there.
first term for
Yes.
round 2. Yeah, so Zam taking that term, which is
Yes.
unfortunate
Member
because
leveled
that
up.
has.
Well done.
Where has he gone? Because I'm going to say he was in 10th. It hasn't
Yeah.
really affected him too much. He does seem to be moving around still quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. That makes last game interesting. Having
Member leveled up.
eights
Well
knocked
done.
out by about
Member
100
leveled
points
up.
by another home
Well
player.
done.
Yeah.
I say Tiger just taking
Yeah.
it off.
Uh,
Take off a jelly as well. Oh,
But if we look at that there, then Wax and Zam, even with the term, are fighting for that 7th and 8th spot at the moment. I don't think Dodge is out of it either.
Yeah.
All of those players are only one tag between each other. Twinkle's coming to a very comfortable lead here. Plank not too far behind.
Member leveled up. Well
But I
done.
don't think they'll leave the top 5 with a minute left if they've found their flow of
Member
things.
leveled up.
I think
Well done.
and their spot of play, I think it's going really well for them.
I say Twinkles was pulled ahead by only 3 tags currently. So he's kind of close to the other guy, to like a Method catching up here. I say it is interesting though. I have seen the 5th spot move a bit in those last 2 minutes when we're watching. But it
Member
is been
leveled up.
sticking pretty
Well
closely
done.
with the top
Yeah.
4 currently. I say Method just overtaking that 2nd spot from Plank now. We're down to the last 30 seconds. CV dropped to 19th.
Yeah, CV had a really rough one there in red, and I think it was just really stuck in the brawl. And had a few, had like 3 players probably target CV, kind of sitting on him there at the start, thinking, but if we're going to do well, we have to make sure he's not doing well.
Well, that's the thing, is sometimes your gameplay is focused on, I don't want to deal with this person, so I'm just going to make sure that they're not
Member
doing
leveled
well.
up.
Here we
Well
go,
done.
so we're moving around,
Game
and that's
over.
the game.
Please proceed
Wow,
to exit.
really
So Method
close.
taking up that first, Twinkle's taking his second, and Plank taking a third. Gus is just being knocked out.
Yes. But yeah, so going through is those top 3, then Danuffa in 4th, Marmaduke in 5th, Holmes in 6th, and Zam, even with that warning term, just, I think, locked in for the last 30 seconds and got that 7th, did really well there. Gus is just being knocked out. That's really close. That's only 2 tags. That's rough.
Which is rough, but also fantastic game from Gustus. I'm about to say, that was a bit of a mix-up between a lot of these players. I say I'm seeing some players that aren't in the top 7 that I didn't expect.
Yes. I mean, there's some big names being knocked out here. I mean, like Wax, Lilbo, Dodge, Rapid did quite well in juniors and has been doing really well. I mean, everyone that's been knocked out in those top